Good morning, second grade. Miss Fogelman here for your reading lesson. Let's get started. Okay, so we have been discussing comparing and contrasting. And if you remember, before I do the learning target, comparing means that you're looking at ways that they're alike, that they're both the same, they're similar, what they have in common. And then when you're contrasting them, you're thinking about what do these have that are different? How do they differ? How are they unalike or not alike? What is the difference between one and the other? So let's go ahead and continue. Our learning target today is I can compare and contrast the most important points presented by two texts on the same topic. Our connection is that last week we learned about comparing and contrasting the most important points in two texts or passages. Just to review, when you compare and contrast in reading, you are looking for things that are the same and the things that are different. And if you remember, we looked at these two pictures last week, and we said that the similarities were they're both outdoors, they both have trees, and they're both habitats or places where animals live. But they're also different. The temperatures are obviously different because the one on the right has snow, and the colors are different. The one on the left is very green, whereas the one on the right is very snowy. All right, as we are reading, think about the important points in both texts. So I'm going to go ahead and read the clownfish and the lionfish to you. The clownfish. There is no need to be afraid of a clownfish. These 4-inch fish are orange with three white stripes. They live in the reefs of oceans. They live in anemones, like in the picture. So an anemone is these plants that grow in the ocean, and the clownfish is actually living inside of it. Anemones usually sting fish that get close to them. The clownfish has a special coating on their skin that protects them. The anemone helps keep the clownfish safe. The clownfish helps defend the anemone. There are 30 species of clownfish in the Red Sea and the Indian and Pacific Oceans. All right, so in this one, I would say that the most important point in the text is that there's no need to be afraid of clownfish, that they actually hide in the anemones to protect themselves from the predators. Some of the supporting details, I would say, are that the clownfish has a special coating on its skin that allows it to live inside the anemone. All right, the lionfish. A lionfish is an interesting looking creature. You do not want to touch one. Lionfish have 18 fins that spread out from their striped body. These fins sting prey with venom. The venom can be deadly. Lionfish use camouflage and move quickly to stay safe. They live in the reefs of the Red Sea. They also live in the Indo-Pacific Oceans. That's the Indian and Western Pacific. Lionfish can grow to be over a foot long. They can weigh 2 to 3 pounds. Many people are fascinated by these fish. They are popular in aquariums. I don't know if I'd want to put a venomous fish in my aquarium, but they are very pretty if you look at the picture right down here. Okay, I would think that the most important point in this text is that a lionfish is a very interesting looking creature. And I would say that the supporting details are that it has 18 fins and that its fins can sting with venom, and that they camouflage themselves and move quickly to stay safe. All right, so now we're going to be discussing how these passages or articles about the fish are the same and different. Now in Shobi, I'm going to be putting this worksheet for you. Let me read the questions for you. Identify an important point from the clownfish, okay? And we discussed that a few minutes ago. If you need to, you can go back and listen to it again. This one says, identify an important point from lionfish. Again, we talked about that. How are the important points that the author makes in each text similar? Okay, so how is what the author is saying about the clownfish and the lionfish similar or the same? And how are the important points that the author makes in each text different? What is something different that the author is trying to get through to you in each text? All right. So again, we have our list of compare and contrast. Remember, when you compare, you're seeing how they're alike. When you contrast, you're seeing how they are different. All right. Remember to do that passage in Shobi. And that's all I have for you today. Have a good day.